A few weeks ago, we finally finished laying our earthen floor and left it to dry. You've seen little snippets here and there, how it looked in the beginning, how it changed over the days, and in the last video, you even watched us apply the waterproof sealant. Today we are heading back inside to continue with the final touches and see how the floor is coming along. Hi, my name is Soino. I tell stories of my life through cooking videos, farming, and homesteading life in general. If this is the kind of content that interests you, kindly click the subscribe button for more amazing videos. So after the floor dried, we had a few people staying behind to look after the house, and they were using the kitchen. Unfortunately, water spillage is one of the biggest enemies of an earthen floor. This type of floor is beautiful, but it's also high maintenance. Before we even got the chance to enjoy it properly, we already had a small area that needed repair. It wasn't a big portion, but we felt it was necessary to fix it now so that the rest of the finishing can continue smoothly. And honestly, it's not coming from a place of disappointment or anger. We expected things like this to happen because the space was being used frequently. So yes, the floor dried really well, but this section needs a little care before we move on to the next step. And you know, living out here, you end up making friends in the most unexpected ways. The camel guys passed by to say hi, and before we knew it, they had offered us a small ride. It was such a random, wholesome moment, the kind of thing that just reminds you why you chose this life. Out here, people are kind, life moves slowly, and even a simple visit turns into a memory you laugh about later.
Angekuwa na nafasi poa mbele. Sasa ugeu leo hapana, si ndio? Right. Kama alikuwa anajua anambia
Nakapo.
mzee, huko hakuna mali inahitaji ingine. Wapi huko? Huku. Kama iko sawa. Hapo naona nguo zao.
Within no time, he was done, and we just decided to fix anywhere where the rice straw was sticking out. You know, with an earthen floor, you want everything to be as flat and seamless as possible, so that when you come in with the next stage of finishing, it all blends beautifully. These tiny corrections might look small on camera, but they make a huge difference in how the floor feels and how it holds up over time. So you saw us applying the sealant on this entrance part of the floor, and it's now dry. And this bigger portion of the living room area has not been applied the sealant. So I want us to test if you pour water, what will happen on it. And then that is testing before we apply the second coat, right?
Yes.
So let's test and then we see what will happen.
Then hapo tu.
So you can see the water is just sitting here, not unless you wipe it. It's not being what is the word?
It's not soaking it.
Yeah, it's not, the floor is not soaking the water. It's just staying here unless you wipe it. Now let's pour it on this other side that has no sealant.
So there's a difference between this one
And this one.
and this one.
See, the water has already been consumed, and this one, the water is still sitting here.
Yes.
When the floor finally settled, the color looked a bit sad. Not terrible, just not what we had envisioned. And you know us by now. If there is a way to make something look a little better, a little warmer, a little more us, we'll definitely do it. Just because it's an earthen floor doesn't mean it should look like no one cares about it. This is our home and we want every corner to feel intentional. So before sealing it, we decided to paint it. Yes, paint an earthen floor. You can absolutely do that. Nowadays, our home has turned into a small paint factory. You need paint, let's make it. Onto the fire, the fundi had already started cooking the wheat, then mixed it with the clay patty, and slowly it turned into this rich, beautiful paint. We actually have a full video showing how we make paint from scratch and how we know the ratios, and this is the same paint we'll be using for our walls. Before I even continue, someone said our fundis were making us go into Hasara. And by the way, Hasara simply means lost in English. And let me tell you a small story. I've mentioned it in bits every time I remember, but one day when this whole project is done, we'll sit down and give you the full story properly. The kind of story that makes you look back and say, Yale baba umenifanyia, wacha nikuite shama. Because if we hadn't opened our eyes when we did, I honestly don't know where we will be now. It's like someone had covered our vision, making everything look okay when nothing was actually okay. At that time, kulikuwa na hasara ya ukweli. Someone comes and instead of following the plan, he just does what his own mind is telling him to do. I remember one of the guys told us that he sleeps looking at the what is it called, the plan of the house, and he knows exactly what he's supposed to do in the morning. And when he comes, he just does his own things, like totally his own things. We had given this job to someone earlier to create exactly what we wanted, but you see, only the person with the vision, that is we, could truly understand what the house was supposed to be. Yes, we were building a simple mud house, but this style of house is very common in Western Kenya among people who understand the technique deeply. That's why the roof gave us no stress. In under 2 weeks, the whole thing was done, finished, because those were experts who knew exactly what they were doing. But when it came to the walls, hey, that's where we saw black and white. My husband and I were so green, just coming with a little research we had done, and none of the people we were bringing here had ever built this type of house before. We were literally making people learn on the job, if that makes sense. Imagine someone learning as they build your house. That's where the losses were coming from. There was a time we changed the team, a full shift, and suddenly things began to move. That was our turning point. From there, we stopped seeing waste. Work started being done correctly. Today, when we tell our current fundi what we want, he explains his side, we explain what we found from our research, and we meet in the middle. And honestly, I know people might have different opinions, but I'm not even defending him. Or maybe I am. But all I can say is he gets the job done as long as you tell him what exactly you want. To everyone asking for his contacts, kindly be patient with us. Just a little bit. He's the only fundi we have. I wish we had 2 or 3 who have already mastered this job so that we can comfortably release them to you. But don't worry, as soon as we finish our project, we'll definitely release him to go and work on your houses too. Now that you can see the colors clearly, when you don't see this painted part, you may just think the floor is fine. But when the two are put together, the difference is obvious. The painted side looks brighter, warmer, and honestly more inviting. It just breathes life into the space. So let's allow him to finish the painting, and then we'll see what else we can do next. And you know, with this house, every time we think, hapo tumefika, something small shows up and tells us, nope, bado. But that's the beauty of creating something with your own hands. These tiny adjustments, these little improvements, they're what makes the house feel more and more like home. I always say the house is teaching us patience, creativity, and resilience, one layer at a time. For anyone watching us for the very first time, welcome. I forgot to say, I don't know if you've noticed, but we hit 80,000 the other day. That means we've been growing so much, and I'm honestly so grateful for every single new person who clicks on our videos and falls in love with our journey. Thank you for cheering us on, for your messages, and for your kindness. We have a full playlist showing this entire building journey from the very beginning all the way to where we are now. And if you love cooking, we also have a few nice festive recipes you can try this season. I hope you enjoy them. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep growing this family together. Now that the floor is almost done and just a tiny portion is left to finish, I'm honestly so happy with how the color has turned out. At least the room feels brighter and more alive. So I told you earlier that we're building this garden together with all of you, and I meant it, step by step, project by project. So today we decided to start planting garlic and just to see how it behaves in this environment. I know garlic takes about 9 months to mature, and we've promised ourselves that every 1.5 months we'll plant a new batch so that the cycle continues. The first batch is about 40 cloves, the beginning of a long journey. Hopefully, we're praying that they all germinate, grow strong, and make it to harvest. I don't know how it will go, but we are hopeful and excited. To anyone who has planted garlic before, please share with us the do's and don'ts in the comments. We are still learning, and your advice will help us build this garden the right way. We finished planting, mulched the garlic, and gave them a good watering. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed every bit of it. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Keep dreaming, keep building, and most importantly, live the life that feels true to you. Until next time, bye. We shall try again tomorrow.